The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. Oh boy. First, what is the FAA? It's the Federal Aviation Administration. And let's just quickly look at some of the most basic what are we, what do we do? We issue and enforce regulations and minimum standards covering manufacturing, operating, and maintaining aircraft. We certify airmen, airports that serve air carriers. The safe and efficient use of airspace is one of our primary objectives. They have about 45,000 employees. They certify pilots that you have to be FAA certified as a pilot to operate an aircraft. They work with staff in regional offices, centers, and airports across the nation for a variety of occupations to provide the safest, most efficient aviation technology and airspace in the world. So I read those to you for a reason. You see that word, safety, efficiency, certify, things like that. And this is what it says within that article I just showed you. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disability, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. They include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism. The initiative is a part of the FAA's Diversity and Inclusion Hiring Plan, which claims diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel across our nation and beyond. And it says this was last updated on March 23rd, 2022. The reason I read you those sort of bland definitions of who FAA is and what they do is because you'll see the words safety and efficiency repeated several times there. And that is the top priority of this particular industry. And what a diversity push does is all of a sudden now when you're hiring, you're putting the emphasis behind immutable characteristics that have nothing to do with how well you're going to perform at a job, where it should be meritocracy, especially in the medical field or in any field with safety, regulation, people flying up in the air. As a consumer of these things, as someone who is a passenger on planes, I don't care what the crew looks like. I don't care where they come from. I just want to know that they're going to do a really good job at what they're doing. Also, when you're looking at different fields, just because you see a discrepancy, that is not automatically a sign of discrimination. For instance, I used to work in the social work field, and look at the teaching field, look at the nursing field. You'll see an over-representation of females. Very much so. It just so happens that more females are attracted to that job. And I feel like a lot of these industries, if they're seeing a discrepancy with a certain kind of demographic, wouldn't it be more beneficial for everyone, especially the people that you're pushing up to the top in these industries? Wouldn't it be better to have some kind of program where you go and educate people and try to pull people up and encourage people to go to school and to learn how to be pilots or to learn how to work in aviation instead of having a diversity push at the top level? Wouldn't it be better to educate people and prepare them to be excellent? Now, just because they have this written on their website doesn't mean that they're going to hire someone with severe epilepsy who's going to be working alone and in charge of operating an airspace. You don't know sort of what line of work people will be doing, but it definitely makes people question things when this is right on your website and you are in control of regulations and air safety. And there are some industries where you do have to discriminate a little bit, and it's for direct safety. For instance, my dad went to pilot school. He wanted to be a pilot, talking about, air things and airplanes. He did. He wanted to be a pilot, but couldn't because he wore glasses. His vision wasn't good enough, so he couldn't be a commercial pilot. Also, going into the military, you have to get certain safety checks and health checks. I'll never be a runway model because I'm only 5'1".